안녕하세요. 며칠 전에 달이 정말 아름다웠어요. 그래서 달맞이에서 아름다운 달을 담아왔습니다. 이번 영상에선 영어책 ask와 move를 함께 낭독해 보도록 할게요. 그럼 바로 시작하겠습니다. ask, 물어보다, 부탁하다, 초대하다. 물어보다. ask questions. What makes people smarter is to ask questions. The thing is, people don't ask questions because they don't want to appear foolish. Kate asked me a question. I'd like to ask a few questions about how to introduce myself to an audience of artsy people. I asked my lecturer about how to make things without causing climate change. He didn't know the answer, so I dropped out and started up a business. It's funny my unit's motto is learning by doing. Ask yourself what makes you the happiest. If you have a clear answer to this, that is the clue to the purpose of your life. I'm happiest when I teach. I feel like I am born to teach. It's just that the majority of teachers are losers. So teaching is my passion, not my profession. If you ask me, you should follow your passion, not money. I just wanted to ask you if you are free this weekend. How could she afford such a car? You may well ask. Tell your mom I was asking after her. I wanted to learn English, so I was asking around for a tutor. 부탁하다. If you need a hand, just ask. Don't hesitate to ask. Can I ask you a favor? Do I ask too much of you? Michelle asked if she could leave early to get materials before shops close. Kate didn't ask for advice when she was preparing for a job interview. She just did it on her own. Well, I'm proud of her, as the E of my institute ACE stands for empowerment. With 10 years relevant work experience behind her, the position was Kate's for the asking. Did they ask you back? She's like a sponge. I couldn't ask for a better student. I asked to see my lawyer. If you talk about someone behind their back, you're asking for trouble. They're asking $700K for the apartment. The asking price for this art piece is $10 million. It's probably asking a bit too much when your boss texts you after work. 초대하다. He asked me out the other night. I asked her out to the dinner. If you really like her, you should ask her out sometime. I've asked Kelly to the party. I've asked Kelly to come to the party. I haven't been asked to the party. I'll ask you in for a coffee if you're in the area. Margaret asked us over for dinner this weekend. Move. 움직이다, 진행하다, 영향을 주다. 움직이다. Let's move. We need to get moving. Come on, move it. Move on, move on. It's always on the move. Can you help me move this to that? We just moved in here. They moved out. We moved to Sydney. We love its cultural diversity and sophistication. She has moved in with her boyfriend. My neighbors moved away a few weeks ago. At some point, we have to move away from the pack to take certain journeys on our own. There is no failure in life unless we fail to adapt. We can move all our arms and legs, but what not can we do? Aim for the sky, but move slowly, enjoying every step along the way. It is all those little steps that make the journey complete. You've got to always go back in time if you want to move forward. You can't move mountains by whispering at them. Boldness has power in itself. No one can move others if he does not move himself. That's been one of my mantras, focus and simplicity. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean, to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end, because once you get that, you can move mountains. Could you move your car so I can get mine out? The direction of your focus is the direction your life will move towards. Could you move along? Could you move over? Could you move up a little? Can we move the meeting from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.? I happen to have an urgent matter in the morning. He moves among an exclusive circle of people. Let's move off from this subject. I think I'm getting sick of it. Can we move on to the next? Yes, I broke up with him, and I've moved on. Every day is a different day. You will be able to find happiness if you just move on. Life is unfair. We have to accept it and move on, not using it as an excuse. Don't wait. If it's not right, move on. I really believe in move on, live and let live, forgive and forget. Sometimes success means having the right idea in the right place at the right time. Other times, it's about not being afraid to quit and move on to something new. Hey, it's time to move on to better things. I hear you are moving on to better things. He will move heaven and earth to earn your heart. Housing prices are moving up due to the Chinese buying up houses. It's a condition of life. We have to move with the times. We finalized the terms and almost signed the contract when the other guy moved the goalposts and said he wanted more money. A shoe is not only a design, but it's a part of your body language, the way you walk. The way you are going to move is quite dictated by your shoes. Throughout human history, in any great endeavor, requiring the common effort of many nations and men and women everywhere, we have learned it is only through seriousness of purpose and persistence that we ultimately carry the day. We might liken it to riding a bicycle. You stay upright and move forward so long as you keep up the momentum. 진행하다. For me, life is continuously being hungry. The meaning of life is not simply to exist, to survive, but to move ahead, to go up, to achieve, to conquer. I made the first move and we started dating. He's anxious to get things moving. We need to make a move. That was a good move. State of California is making a bold move to tackle climate change. In order for humanity to survive, we all have to move towards low-carbon economy. I take time in order to speak English with confidence. I read books in order not to do things I might regret. I take time to read books in order for my life will not be wasted. There have been movements towards cleaner earth, zero waste, plastic-free, tiny house, ocean cleanup, no shopping, electric rides, and so on. Did you know electric cars produce much less brake dust? You don't want to breathe in the brake dust. For humanity to move forward, we first need to realize how arrogant we are in nature. We act like we don't need forests to cleanse our air, oceans to feed us with clean fish. All of us make mistakes. The key is to acknowledge them, learn, and move on. The real sin is ignoring mistakes, or worse, seeking to hide them. I'm reflective only in the sense that I learn to move forward. I reflect with a purpose. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. 영향을 주다. Let him that would move the world first move himself. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. Man changes the world by changing himself. I'm moved by his consistency. The painting moved her to tears. I can't imagine what could have moved her to accept the offer. Art has to move you, and design does not, unless it's a good design for a bus. Education is the movement from darkness to light. 교육이란 어둠에서 빛으로의 진전이다. 지금까지 수고 많으셨습니다. 매일매일 영어책에 있는 문장들을 낭독하시면 영어가 들리기 시작하고 영어로 말이 나오기 시작하실 거예요. 저를 믿으시고 매일매일 영어책에 있는 문장들을 가능한 한 많이 낭독하시도록 하세요. 그럼 응원합니다. 다음 영상에서 봬요.